Hey guys, it's Joseph. In this video, I want to talk about how modern dating has left guys with two very different options, two different divergent paths to go down. And the first option is like this, basically giving up. You give up on your dating life. You might still have like a Tinder, but that's essentially giving up, man. You're not giving it a full effort. So you're giving up on dating, you're kind of pissed off at women. You start going on online forums, you start watching shit where people are just all in this victim mindset essentially. And understand that for me and my clients, yes, I think it's pretty sad for men to give up on their romantic lives because, you can have some amazing adventures. But at the same time, it does benefit me and my clients, like at the end of the day. It does mean that there's less guys in the pool of men. So it means that for me and for my clients, it drives the demand up. So if you choose path number one of neglect, you have to think about it. Either you're gonna be masturbating yourself or you're gonna be on semen retention. And one of the things that guys will say when they wanna ignore their dating lives is they're like, man, I just wanna focus on my career. I just wanna like hang out with my dog, bro, and just like be like a good, family member or something. But that's not really the way it works, does it? Because either you're on semen retention indefinitely or you're masturbating, but you're gonna be sexually frustrated. You're not gonna be fulfilled. You can't lie about it, man. And so this is gonna bleed over into your career. It's gonna bleed over into your relationship with your family. You're gonna have less motivation. Either option, whether you're on semen retention or you're masturbating, you're gonna be frustrated. So because I care about my subscribers and I want them to kind of have this reality, let's really play out what will happen if you decide to neglect your dating life until you're like 50. So now you're 50 years old, you have no female companionship, you're sexually frustrated, you have no offspring, and you have no social skills from neglecting this. But then one day you wake up and it hits you like, man, I've been making the wrong decision. Like you finally decide to listen to your true desires. But now look at you, you're 50 years old, you have limited experience with women sexually and social skills wise. Your body's starting to age. And so you're not in a good position. You've put yourself in a very poor position. Now, can you come back from this? Yes, of course. I work with older clients. But the thing is, it's a lot more difficult when you're older because especially if you're trying to date women around your age, women expect you to have some social skills. They expect you to have some social experience at that age. If you're like 20 or even like 30 maybe, then yeah, you can totally get away with not having a ton of experience, and women aren't gonna think too much about that. But once you get older, it's gonna be very hard for you. So guys will procrastinate on this and essentially kick the can down the road for whatever emotions they have going on. And they think they're avoiding pain, they think they're protecting their ego, but really they're just setting themselves up for a lot more pain in the future that could have been avoided. And this isn't just like an invention of my mind or something I came up with. No, after this video, I want you to look up what the most common regrets that old people have when they're nearing their death or they're on their deathbed. One of the most common things that they'll say they regret in their life, is that they focus way too much on their work, on their career, and not enough on nurturing relationships. You never, hear or you see one of these guys who is like 85 on their deathbed. They're like, man, I'm so happy that I just didn't really focus on my dating life. I'm so happy that I didn't have a bunch of, romantic adventures. And then I just like focused on work and like building my physique. And so with all that being said, why I think the not caring path isn't a good decision, I do understand why guys have this problem. So the problem happens when you attribute all of your lack of successes with women to feminism and the modern dating dynamic. And the reason why this is an attractive yet very dangerous idea to stew over is because it's partially true. You know, if you're seeking like a traditional woman, it's true, it is harder to find like a traditional woman. And it is true that women have embodied more of the masculine characteristics. I'm not denying that modern dating has changed, but men really will latch onto this idea that it's completely society's fault for their lack of romantic success. It's very dangerous. It's so much more convenient to shift the blame for where you are in life outwards rather than to recognize your own skill deficiencies. But the raw truth is that this problem is solvable. Look, I understand the women's liberation movement, made some things change. I understand that some women are pretty masculine and hard to even be attracted to. But this doesn't mean that you have to date these women. And I think the reason that these guys are in this scarcity mindset is because they literally just don't know the method to create options. They literally don't know that it's possible to meet feminine women and that it's possible to have these feminine women fall into your masculine frame. And I don't blame them. I actually don't. Because a lot of the education that surrounds seduction has been completely slandered by big media for years. So the best solution to this problem is actually incredibly simple. Instead of running away, sort of like a coward, you need to increase your skill level and your volume of action. All that you can do in life is to play the hand you are dealt in the best way possible. I'm willing to bet that if you were born in a country like Somalia, you wouldn't just look at Western civilization, a more ideal civilization, a more ideal situation for you, and say, well, I'm in Somalia, the economy isn't so great here, I should just give up and just kind of just chill, man, because this isn't fair, man. It could be better. No, you would probably become a pirate, right? So option number 2 is you recognize your true masculine desire for companionship, and then you better yourself into a man that can let go of low quality women. You don't have to date low quality women who are like ultra feminists. Option number 2, it's obviously a lot more courageous than option 1 and a lot more in alignment with your real human needs. And the way that you do this is you become like an emotional drug dealer, basically, for women. You go on adventures, you level up your skills, and over time, you're gonna see that you're actually capable of doing this. Learning seduction is really like one of the last frontier adventures for men. We don't like have a crazy world war going on. We don't have a bunch of cool territory to go discover. So men get really bored and they get really frustrated in their lives. This adventure, you kind of feel like James Bond. You kind of feel like you're on a spy mission every day, and I love it. And so I wish I could tell more guys about this, but obviously I make these simple YouTube videos that aren't for the masses. And even still, a lot of guys just have unfortunately low testosterone, so they just are pretty content with their existence. And you can definitely go on this adventure all alone, but the problem is you don't have that second set of experienced eyes who can identify the areas which are preventing you from reaching your full potential with attracting women. I'm sure that the guys who are watching this are absolute legends and they have tons of value to bring to women, but you need to learn how to portray that value. It's sort of like if Michael Jackson just did shows in some small town bar. Like, yeah, he's still a world-class singer, but nobody knows about him, so he hasn't portrayed himself to anybody. And if you don't know how to portray your value in a way that brings girls in, well, then you're just stuck playing small ball, swiping on Tinder, and you're kind of just stuck waiting for your grandma to just set you up with somebody, which is unlikely. If you want to learn how I can help you create an abundant dating life, I put a link in the description where you can book a call with me and apply to be in my personal coaching program where I help guys directly. That's all for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon.